you, that's an interesting point you're raising there. You know what I think the problem is in the Western world? This is a very simplistic approach.
Yeah.
But let me just say this to you, okay? I got a friend of mine who's in England. He's in Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's a couple hours from London.
Very industrial town.
Yeah, pretty. It's had a bit of employment problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyhow, my friend was in Birmingham, and I asked him, "Can you please shoot some video of Birmingham for me?" Right? It seems like a nice sort of town there, right? But I just want to compare this mentality and tell me what you think of this, right? In Birmingham, when you walk down the street, every fucking cunt drops rubbish. Doesn't matter where they are. If they finish a Coke, they just throw the can out the window. No one gives a fuck, really. They're selfish cunts, right?
No, I haven't been there.
Okay. Well, I can show you the footage. But basically, you walk down the street, you see cans here. It's a bit like Australia too. Australia's not perfect either. But I'm just saying, this is an example of Birmingham, okay? You walk down the street, there's rappers, there's this, there's that, there's all sorts of shit everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Their mentality is someone else will come and pick that up.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. I don't give a fuck, right? Myself, when I went to Japan, one of the things that I was really shocked at was that everything was, this is in urban areas, not talking city, we're talking urban areas, like a suburb, that's what we would call a suburb. And what happens is people actually go out there and pick up shit that's on the floor. They don't say, that's not my job. They actually pick up stuff. And they make it clean. Like, they're not getting paid. They just do it because... And I think the problem is, it's this mentality of society in that. In England, in the factory, when they were making cars and someone spots a fault, oh, there's a problem. Oh, the guy down there's fucked this up. Instead of saying, hey, stop, we've got to fix this up, it's fucked. They don't give a shit. It's not my problem, not my responsibility. It's nothing for me. Someone else should. They don't take responsibility for it. Instead of saying, hey, stop, we've got a problem, let's fix this up. Because the guy who dobs it in, what are you fucking whinging again for? You're a complainer, John.
Yeah.
You keep on finding these problems, but finding these problems and helping fix the problem leads to something that works. But the problem is every cunt is only doing their little bit. I think countries like England, Australia have become very selfish and entitled.
Well, I think, see, that problem, I don't know the real answer, I don't know the problem, but
Sure.
But if that's what happened in Japan, why do they do that? Because somewhere they were conditioned. They were conditioned not to question. They were conditioned to pick things up. They were conditioned to have pride or whatever. So they're following some sort of a brainwashing thing.
Well, how's that brain? Is that a bad thing? That's a very negative word to use, brainwashing.
Well, no, they went to school. Or
I mean, would you rather be in Birmingham where every cunt doesn't give a fuck? The dogs shit in the street. They just fucking shit everywhere.
Well, in France it's like that, dog shit in the street anyway. But the thing is, Roddy, you're saying, well, let's be like Japan.
No. What I'm saying is that why is it that they're living in these relatively nice houses? I looked at the houses; they look quite nice, right?
But most people don't own a house there.
But that's irrelevant. They've got housing. Well, okay, but they don't give a fuck. They just very. It's not my responsibility. Everyone, it's not my responsibility. Someone else will do that. That's not my job to pick up rubbish.
Yeah, well, you're paying rates, and they got people to pick up rubbish. I mean, I drive my car and I flick through the window, I suppose. Instead of,
but do you really do that? I mean, that's really quite filthy. I mean, you've got to say, oh, I don't want to do that.
Why is that? Who told me to do that?
No, but that's
I
probably
don't
why.
want to dirty the car. I want to get it on somebody else's problem.
But you just keep it there and put it in the rubbish at home. That's what you're trying to do. You don't want to make the place dirty, do you?
I don't want my car dirty, do I? Yeah, that's the argument. The other argument.
Yeah.
See, I think it's society.
Yeah, but that's the reason why the factories make crappy products. Like you're talking about, why don't the English have a car industry? Well, if no fucking cunt would say, hey, there's a problem there, we've got to fix this.
Well, I think it's more than that. I think how Japan, I think, did it. Now, I haven't studied this, but they had a very big market in Japan. You know, like Australia had say 5 million people at once, 10 million people, right? 10 million people. Well, how many people are going to buy your cars? Japan had 300 million people. So I don't know what the population of Japan is. What's the population of Japan, you know? So they got a big market, bigger market. And so Australia then could export a few bits, which they did. But Japan, they export around the world. And they built the export markets and whatever. And also their funding, instead of paying for armies, the American army looked after them. They spent all their money on industry and doing things like that. You know, doing other things, other priorities. I think it's more complex than that, because if it was just that issue, we'd solve it too. But you know, at schools, and our society has changed, one for the better and two for the worse. For the better, well, you went to school, you know, you're sort of saying, well, I think all these things you're talking about go back to schooling. You know, how you're taught and the norms that you accept at school.
Yeah, but I myself, if I go to a park, right? I've gone to River Rocks Park, right?
Yeah.
And I see a can there. I'll put that in the rubbish. No one says. As you get older, I don't think it's to do with schooling. I think you think yourself, well, if every other cunt just throws rubbish there, this place is going to be filthy. If I see a little bit of rubbish, I'll pick that up. That's okay.
No, it didn't happen that way. I think what happened in Japan, you go to school, you throw a can on the floor. Teacher gets and gives you 6 on the bum with a cane. Yeah,
but
and then you do something else like that.
But that's happened in England. In Tom Brown's school days, they used to flog the shit out of you.
That's why it's changed.
But England still had social problems, but it wasn't clean.
We're talking about rubbish. No, it was quite clean. It wasn't too bad.
When was it quite clean?
Well, when I was there. It wasn't that dirty. It was pretty clean.
Where were you?
In Huddersfield, in Yorkshire.
It wasn't that dirty.
No, it wasn't that dirty. And when you got on the bus, a lady came, you stood up for the lady. Always stood up for older people.
Sure.
And if you're a man, there's a lady, a pregnant lady, particularly, everybody got up and she got a seat, right? Yeah. What happens now? They all look the other way.
Society's changed.
Society's changed. Now, so society's changed for the better, because they don't cane the kids, they don't belt the crap out of them. You now can question authority instead of blindly accepting what they want. It's this more freedom, more questioning, more whatever. But the price of that is when somebody says do that, you say do it yourself. And when the trade-off is becoming better in some areas makes it worse in other areas. And it's just like it's at school. Like certain kids say, they go to school, they want to listen, they want to wear school uniform, they wear shoes. Well, the older they go in the office, they give them 6 on the bum every day, and the kid will soon get a sore bum.
But that hasn't worked either. Your answer is so simplistic.
They never did that.
I mean, well, if that's the case, why have these kids turned out completely fucked from the Salvation Army homes and the Catholic homes? Why have they were molested, attacked, and everything like that?
Hold it. They didn't do anything wrong.
Who's that?
Those kids. They were put into Christian Brothers into Western Australia.
Sure.
They were orphans.
That's correct.
Their father had died in the war.
Well, supposedly died. Some of them haven't even died.
But they had supposedly, they came to a better future, and the church was so good, it's supposed to be so good. So they brought them to a better future.
Sure.
And it's the churches at fault. It's not the kids not at fault.
Yeah, but
the kids they were beaten into submission.
But a lot of these people have turned out really bad. They've got so many problems in that there.
But that's it. But that's the church that did that. The people in charge of them treated them wrongly. They should be punished. Well, it's not the kids. The kids. If you get an animal or a dog, you beat it and beat it and beat it, then go out there and say, how come he's biting all the people? Because that's how you've trained it. Those people that went there, right? A little kid went to those orphanages and they were sodomized and beaten and brutalized and embarrassed. I went to Morris Brothers School and I wasn't even an orphan, and we were treated like crap.
Yeah.
And Christian Brothers, even worse. You go along, the brother would just get a strap out of his thing and just flog you in the playground.
Yes.
Now, if you're treated like that, how are you going to treat other people? Exactly the same way.
Sure.
Now they've changed that, and the church has come. You look at look at this hypocrisy society.
Yeah.
Now the Pope yesterday made a big statement, didn't he?
Sure.
Oh,
I don't watch TV.
Well, the Pope said that the world has to get America and Korea to be better.
Sure.
Yeah, the United Nations should put pressure on America and Korea to solve this problem.
Sure.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything about the pedophiles. He's keeping quiet on that now. He doesn't say, hey, the whole world should get these priests, flog them, hang them, put them in jail. No. He was all talk, no action.
Well, they've given protection to that George Pell.
That's right. He's hiding George Pell up there.
He's hiding George Pell.
He's hiding George Pell, and he's got he was if they say, oh, he's a great pope. He's not great. He's just a hypocrite like the rest of them. He's saying, oh yeah, he's going to be great. He's not. He's either he's not because he can't, because the hierarchy, whilst he's the Pope, he's probably the figurehead only.
Sure.
Or he realised there's a lot more other issues, and he can't really sack all the priests because there's probably everybody around is a pedophile.
Yes.
As he said, only 1 in 10. Well, he's probably really mean only 1 in 10 isn't a pedophile. Maybe he meant that.
Well, I don't know. That's taking it out of context.
Well, he said 1 in 10.
Yeah.
Only 1 in 10 is a pedophile.
Sure. How does those statistics compare to the rest of society?
Well, in Christian brothers here, 22% Christian brothers and Maris brothers are pedophiles.
Sure.
That's what the Australian inquiry found out. 22% of Christian brothers, 20% of Maris brothers, 44% of John of God. 44% of John of God, St. John of God, were pedophiles. Sure. Sister Mercy had 0.6 because the nuns don't normally pedophilia; they just belt the shit out of you. Like an orphanage, they don't. A nun, women aren't normally pedophiles; they're just brutal.
Yes.
If they had the brutality thing, you'd probably get Sister Mercy be 99% of them. Well, it wouldn't be 99%. I would say 50% of them. And why do we like that? Because they were treated. The nuns were treated like crap themselves. Sure. And therefore, then they were treated like crap, and then they treat everybody like crap because they think that's the world.
So how's the Catholic Church turned into the biggest business in the world then, with the biggest land holding?
It's always been like that.
It's always been like that.
It hasn't turned into anything. It's got a bit smaller now because they're paying all these legal suites. They're selling down a bit. No, and you think about it. You got these they're collecting money, and all these court orders are going against them. And who's paying for it? All the honest guys are paying for the priests.
Well, not many people give much. Not many people give much in the Western world. That's.
What do you want to give to the priests? Should sell their cars. Yeah. Shouldn't they? Yeah. All the brotherhood, all the brothers and the creeds, they should all get together and sell everything they've got. But they don't. They're not stupid. They just think everybody else is stupid. Yeah. Yeah. So.